Hey guys, Seeney here, and welcome to another episode on the Australian Wealth Channel. And today we're going to talk about how you can retire early. So retiring early and being financially free is a goal that so many people across the entire world have. Not having to work your job and just be able to do whatever you want is really a vision that so many people do want to achieve. So there is actually a way to do this, and I'm going to talk about how to actually do it. So I'm going to be delivering a lot of value in this video, so if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up button and smashing that so this video gets to go out to more people and hopefully they can learn how to also get that financial freedom. So there is a formula for retiring early, and it completely revolves around the money that you have invested, whether that either be in stocks, in a business that's running itself, or real estate, or something like that. So what's worth noting is that the stock market in particular has averaged about a 7% return every single year for the last 100 years. So we can pretty much assume that over the next 100 years, we're going to get a similar figure. You know, the market obviously goes up a lot more some years, sometimes it goes down, but on average, it ends up being roughly a 7% return. So the most important question when it comes to retiring early is how much money do you spend? Now, depending on where you live, your level of expenses are going to be vastly different. If you decide to reside in New York or in Sydney, your expenses are going to be a lot higher than if you were to live in regional Victoria or you were to live in Kansas, for example. So as a result, the amount of money that you need to have invested relies so heavily on the amount of money that you are spending. So the most generally accepted principle in finance is that you can draw down on your investments in retirement at about 4% per year, and that way you still have a little bit of a buffer if the market is generating roughly a 7% return. So obviously you need to make your own decisions for this. You know, the market is not guaranteed to make 7% every year, so you need to make your own decisions and do what is right for your situation. So it's generally accepted that you can draw down 4% every year and live indefinitely without going broke. Obviously, you know, some things can change. Like this year, a lot of companies cut their dividends, but on the other side, we've seen the stock market rocket in capital gain. So by drawing down 4% of your investments, and that being what you can live on, if you spend roughly $40,000 a year, then you need to have $1 million invested to maintain this level of lifestyle. So living off $40,000 a year is not a lot of money, but is definitely achievable for most people. For most people, if you want to live a comfortable life, a simple life, then having $1 million invested and being able to draw down $40,000 every single year is going to be quite reasonable. However, for those people that are looking to live a little bit larger and have a bit more extravagant retirement, then for every $40,000 that you want to spend every year, you need to have an extra $1 million invested. So if you want to spend $80,000 in a year, that means that you need to have $2 million invested, and so on and so forth. So it all really comes down to what you want and, you know, what's important to you in retirement. If you just want to be nice and simple, live a simple life, then it's very easy to retire with a little bit less money. But if you're looking to live large, then, you know, obviously there is a cost to that, and you're going to have more money invested to actually retire. For those of you that want to be drawing down $200,000 a year and just completely living it up, you're going to have roughly $5 million invested into the market or into real estate or something like that, which is quite a tough goal and a goal that not very many people achieve. I believe that $1 million invested is achievable for most people, provided you have at least the median wage, but to have $5 million invested is going to be a real challenge unless you have a high income. So when it comes to retiring early, there's two things that are really important to actually get to the goal. And the first one is time, and the second one is money. And these things have a relationship. If you want to get to that goal faster, you're going to need to invest more money. However, if you don't have as much money, then you're going to need more time. So it is achievable, I believe. So let's say that you're 20 years old and you want to retire when you're 60. So if what you need to do, if you want to get there and live large, you want to have $5 million invested, you need to make sure that you have $2,000 every single month that you're investing for those 40 years. And if you compound that at 7% on average over 40 years, then you're going to retire with $5 million. But let's say you want to do that in 30 years, then that means you're going to have to invest over $4,000 every single month for 30 years to achieve that goal. So for someone that's $48,000 a year. So for someone that's on a median wage, that's just going to be impossible. So your two options are to make more money or take more time. So to do this in 20 years, you need to be investing $10,000 every single month if you want to get to that $5 million mark compounded, because obviously the compounding effect works over extra time, and the shorter that time span is, the less effective compounding is going to be. So you have to have more invested the shorter that period gets. So $10,000 a month is a lot to invest. That's $120,000 for the year. So that is double what the median income is. So if this is your goal and you want to retire within 20 years and you want to be able to live large, then you're going to need to have a really high income. Something that's, nearly $200,000, I would say, and still you save every single penny of that. But living large isn't completely the way to go. If you just want to retire and live conservatively, then if you're putting away $2,000 every single month for 20 years, you're going to reach that $1 million goal. And then you can have a comfortable retirement and live off your investments. I think that $2,000 a month is a pretty reasonable figure for most people if they're good at saving money. The most important thing is to not live at or beyond your means. If you're living below your means, it's going to be a lot easier to make sure you got these savings and then get them invested so they can grow into the future. So I think for the average couple, the median income per person in Australia is around $48,000. And I think it's really important to use the median rather than the mean, because people that are earning a lot of money draw the mean up. So the person that's in the middle is earning about $48,000 a year. So together, that's $96,000. So, $2,000 a month is about 25% of the income that's coming through the door. And I believe that that is achievable for most people depending on where you live. If you're living in the center of Sydney and you're renting, that's going to be very hard to do. So it might be worth looking at some other options which are a little bit further out, so that allows you to save a little bit more money. So statistically, for the average family, this is possible, but it requires a lot of dedication and time. It might not be 20 years, it might end up being 30 years. But for most people, I believe that it is achievable to retire early and live off your investments. So I'd be keen to hear about what you guys think about this video. So make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps to get these videos out to more people. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments about what your plans are for retiring early. So my name is Seeney. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.